Our first speaker of the evening is the one and only Dr. Mansur Hasib. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Mansur Hasib loves humor and is trying to master the art of making humorous speeches. This is a new speech with some elements from previous speeches that he's sharing tonight. And you are welcome to keep your microphones on and videos on and laugh along as you please with the one and only Dr. Mansur Hasib as he gives his speech titled English. Dr. Mansur Hasib, English.
Toastmasters and guests, do you have trouble understanding English? The trouble is, what we call English may not be English. For example, someone from England sounds completely different compared to someone in America. Or how about Australia? Or even New York versus Boston? And how about India? Did you know India has so many languages that the only way people can understand each other is through English? But the English is very different there. It's a mix between English and another local language. And people switch back and forth between the two languages in the same sentence. It's the same everywhere else too. English in England is not English in America. So why don't we call it American? I came to America and went to a restaurant. The waiter asked, "Are you going to die alone?" I thought, wow, waiters here ask very personal questions. Did I walk into a religious restaurant? Will they now convert me somehow? So I decided to play along. Yes, I will die alone. We all die alone. That's the sad truth of life. He grew puzzled. Sorry, sir. I was asking if you will be dining alone. I came alone, so I have to dine alone. Surely they wouldn't put me together with some other lonely people? Would they? Is this the new dating scene in America? The language is also different. I ran into a friend and asked him, "How are you?" He said, "Hanging in there." I looked around wondering, where is he hanging from and why? My neighbor came over and asked me, "Is your refrigerator running?" Puzzled, I asked, "Refrigerator running? What an amazing country. Your refrigerators can run?" He raised his eyebrows. "No, I meant to say, does it work?" Work? No, I work so I can buy the refrigerator. No one will hire refrigerators. Then there are phrases with no connection with their meaning. For example, bucket list. What's that? And how about kick the bucket? What's that got to do with dying? And what about people with two faces? Do the two faces look the same? Do we make friends with both? Do we call them with different names? And can you imagine needing to apply makeup to two faces? My wife already takes 3 hours to get ready. Hot dog. When I first heard that, I wondered, why would I ever heat a dog? And if I did, wouldn't it be a dog in heat? But then, what would we call a dog that's actually hot? A sexy dog? Even after decades of learning English, continues to be a problem for me. We have a game called squash, but also a vegetable called squash. Why? Did we suddenly have a shortage of words? But now that we have more words, can we change one of them? And why is you both singular and plural? How am I supposed to know? And carpet. It's not a pet in a car. We have reckless, but not wreckful. We have ruthless, but not ruthful. We do have restless and restful, and helpless and helpful. And we also have faithless and faithful. We can have a soulmate, yet no soul enemy. LOVE is love. ROVE is rove. Why? LOSE is lose. However, ROSE is not ruse. Is this a ruse? Lover and hover is okay, but rover is not. It's rover. Is there any reason for soldier to be pronounced soldier? How did the D become a G? And if the I is not pronounced, why do we need it? Is it because it would be solder and not soldier? Does combining a D and a G make a change? I mean, can you see how crazy this language is? Thank goodness someone was smart enough to start Toastmasters so we can learn new words and grammar at every meeting and even be playful and inspirational with our language. But with only 300,000 people learning English properly, what about the rest of the people in the world? We desperately need more members. So everyone, go out and recruit. We need to teach people English. Toastmaster.
Wow, thank you for your speech, Dr. Hasib. We got a lot of laughter in the audience.
Our first evaluator of Mansur's speech is Oscar. And so I'm going to turn this over to Oscar right now to give his evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Mansur's speech tonight is English. Let me first start with the strengths that he demonstrated in his speech tonight. It was an excellent, awesome speech. Why? Because of the following elements that I noted from his speech. He started with a question. Do you have trouble understanding English? That's a great way to grab the audience attention immediately. It was dynamic. His delivery style was positive and it was upbeat and he was dynamic in his delivery. It had humor. I especially like the humor about the two faces, when he even used an anecdote about his wife taking a lot of time putting makeup. Imagine if she had two faces. I especially like that. I also like the humor he used when he was talking about, is the refrigerator running? Of course not. Maybe he can use other anecdotes like that as well. The topic was relevant. It applies to all of us. We all speak English, and yet we have troubles sometimes understanding the meanings of the words. And most of all, the topic is relevant to Toastmasters. He even introduced Toastmasters in his speech. Now, a suggestion to improve or enhance the speech. There was a point there in the body of the speech that got a little bit too exhaustive, or it started getting fatigue to the audience. It got a little bit too much, in my opinion. We felt, or I felt, overloaded with so much information in the body of the speech. You can be, Dr. Mansur can be assoiled in a club, but in a contest, especially in a humorous contest, I suggest you cut down the exhaustive part of the body. Maybe cut it down to maybe 4 or 5 examples, especially those examples that I mentioned, the humorous ones. So perhaps organize it so that it's not too overloading for the audience. And perhaps use a prop such as flashcards to show the words that you were describing or referring to. And finally, I like your conclusion, but instead of saying recruit and teach English in Toastmasters, why not say, if you're from another country or you're new to the USA, why not come to Toastmasters? It's the best way not only to learn English, but to connect with real people, to converse with real people, to have camaraderie with real people. That way, you will master English much better.